And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Johnny Dunn, and we are back with another one. Today, Epic VeVe live stream. Today, we have just one drop today, just one comic book blind box once again. It is a super limited drop, however, so I do expect the prices to come out pretty high right away. Let's dive into the details. Shout out to the chat today joining us. Good morning, everybody. Today, we have Marvel Premiere number 21. Now, this one's going to be interesting. This is not your typical comic book run that we've seen lately from VeVe, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how this one comes out in the market with all these other drops lately. You know, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I'm very excited to see what these do. We have 10,000 total editions for this one. So usually we see that 30,000 run, maybe even 60,000 sometimes, but this time only 10,000 total editions. We only have 6,000 for the common. We have 2,250 for the uncommon, 1,000 rare, 500 ultra rare, and 250 secret rare. So this one should be a pretty good one to anybody who does land this on the drop. Now, if you guys have been struggling with the drops, which I know many of you guys have been, unfortunately, even I've been on a little cold streak recently, 0 for 3 lately. So like I said, if anybody lands this one on the drop, it's going to be hard. But if you do, I think it's going to come out pretty valuable in the secondary market. Real talk in here early. He's got a question right away. He says, how will the Chaosium's exit affect the price for the hollers of this brand? So yeah, I mean, we just saw recently with the news of the Cthulhu statues with the Book of the Dead. They will be leaving, it looks like, with the licensing, and that's okay. I mean, it looks like when I looked up the details, this was the first time I heard of it this morning. So great question, Real Talk. Good morning, Just Led. So basically, with the the Cthulhu statues that we have on the app, the Book of the Dead, we won't be seeing any more of these collectibles on the app. Looks like there won't be any kind of game that's going on in the future. I thought that maybe they were hinting at that possibly, but it looks like because they are going to be leaving, there is no game going to be possibly coming with these. Now, I think this could actually affect the prices of these collectibles, the Cthulhu statues specifically, in a positive way long term, because this is the first ever Comic-Con set. And because they'll no longer for the foreseeable future be on VeVe, I think those gold statues, all of the colors actually, the jade color, the bronze even, I think they'll do really well. I'm not sure how the book's going to do, just because the book, I think people were anticipating, speculating something in the future to happen. Maybe whether that's some kind of more of an animation for that book, or maybe like it was tied into some kind of game that they were possibly working on before they decided to leave. So maybe the book gets hurt, but I think because of the statues, one, they look amazing for the people's showroom. Long term, I think the book will catch up too, but maybe we see a little pump with those statues. I only have one of each, but I was possibly looking maybe get another one. I don't have enough gems to take that chance right now. But I think if you have a lot of gems, maybe stacking up in another statue or two, just in case people do put an emphasis on them leaving. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal long term. Who knows? They could come back in the future. I think what's happening right now, a lot of these brands, it's still so new. They're kind of unaware of the NFT space. They think any kind of NFTs, they hurt the environment in a negative way. But I think when more and more brands start to become aware of what VeVe's doing, how they're doing it, I think another year or two that could possibly change. Maybe they come back to the VeVe app. With a little kid in the building, he's feeling good today. He's saying he's hitting today. Let's go. We got Thomas Conger in the building. Good morning. Let's go. I will be going over the market prices today. See a little bit of a dip. We see some collectibles recovering a little bit, some comics recovering. And shout out to anybody who was able to land the last Golden Moments drop, the Donald Duck and Lady of the Tramp. I picked up the Donald Duck a couple nights ago. Did not pick up Lady and the Tramp. Still got to get this one. All right, I'm going to go over Batman Black and White right now. We got the top Batman, 9.7K. There's only 2 of them under 10K. And it looks like it's a pretty big jump, too. It goes 9.7, 9.9, then right up to 10.5K. Looks like it actually increased a little bit. It was as low as like 9.3K just a few days ago. So top Batman's recovering. That's always good to see. We got FA Joker still floating around that 1K mark. FA Penguin, 839. I don't really see it dipping below 800. If it does, I think it'll get picked up pretty quick. There's only a few left below 900. Harley Quinn still kind of, floating around that almost a little bit above half of what FA Joker is. 699 is the floor. I expect that one to get picked up pretty soon. Anything in the 600s usually gets picked up of Harley Quinn pretty quickly. We got Nightwing. My Nightwing is at the floor right there. So if anyone want to pick up a Nightwing, I am selling my third one right there. It's at 2K. Nightwing's such a good collectible. It's one of my favorites. If I didn't have 3 of them, there's no way I would let one go. I'm keeping my 2 that I have that I originally got on the drop. Got 1.7 for Becky Batman. We got Joe M Batman 1K. Thought about picking up an extra Joe M Batman recently, just because there is going to be a new, not there is going to be, but I guess there will be in the future. But we all know that the FE tag is remaining on these Batman from the first set. So that's another reason why I wanted to pick up the Joe M Batman. I feel like maybe once that article gets officially published in the future, once people start to realize that there will be no more collectibles with that FE tag on it. The Harley Quinn set, the red and black ones with the Steve Pugh Harley Quinn, that's going to be an amazing set right there. I only have 2 of those Harley Quinns. I'm definitely going to be hot on those. Batman vs. Crot, 742 is the floor. That one took a big hit. I've listed my 3-digit 458 a few different times, hoping that one sells. I was going to rebuy back the floor, but it didn't sell, so I just usually delist it. Definitely want to take a look at these golden moments. But before I do that, let's take a look at the lenticular cards. These are the first edition Disney cards. The first time ever that Disney had a secret rare. First time ever that Disney has a first edition. So let's take a look at these. We got Goofy down to 2.3K. I think this could be a good opportunity for Goofy. I think a lot of people are on hold right now. People aren't sure what's going to get announced in the future. And I think that's the reason why people aren't pouncing in the market right now. I think if we had an announcement for next weekend's drop already and it wasn't that big of a deal, I think the market would start to pump right now. But because we're not sure what's even dropping in the future, a lot of people are still speculating, big drops to come up in the future, near future. I think that's the only reason why the market's kind of temporarily frozen, I would say. There's not a huge pump going on. Things kind of retrace a little bit. I definitely see Goofy. I don't see dipping. If it does dip below 2K, I don't see it dipping below 2K for too long. I think that's when people like me would probably try to start maybe eyeing it. Maybe it's, in my range at that point. We got Pluto. 828 is the floor price. We saw it hovering just over 1K at the 1K range for a while. It's dipped back down below. Again, I think if it touches 700 range, I think it's going to get bought up pretty quick. Then we have Daisy Duck, 420. That's the floor price for Daisy right now. Pretty low. We have Donald Duck, 686 is the floor. We have 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the floor by the same person. So it looks like someone's trying to get them off quick. Donald Duck, I think, is going to be a pretty good one. I'm surprised they haven't pumped just yet. And I think the reason why these cards haven't pumped just yet is just, like I said before, people are waiting on some kind of big announcement to come in the future. And if we don't get that big announcement like people are expecting, a big drop, then, I could definitely see these pumping. We got Mickey at 547, have one of those. Minnie, 434, I do have one of these as well. And my favorites, the golden moments we're going to go over. Superman real quick. There's only one Superman I'll go over. There's 226 left, 4.4K. We saw Superman touch all the way up to 5K at one point. And I thought, at 5K, Superman was just going to keep on going to 10K, but it looks like it took a little bit of a retracement. So if anyone was looking to get a Superman, not financial advice, of course. I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I say are my opinions only. But Superman could be, a good opportunity right now for some people. The Disney Golden Moments. I am going to try to be a master collector of all the Disney Golden Moments. I think eventually in the future, you guys see the Disney Golden Moments sign right here, the collection tab. Now, this tab says in celebration of Disney Plus Day. So I think in the future, there may be another tab that says the Valentine's Day, or they just may remove the Disney Plus Day and just have one tab for the Golden Moments. I'm not sure how they're going to work that. I did think originally they were going to have one for the Valentine's Day series because that's how it's listed. It says for the new Golden Moments that drop, the series is Valentine's Day. So maybe they just haven't made a new card yet, or whatever the case may be, a new tab. Yeah, Willow, I'm hoping you hit today, my man. Today's going to be a hard one. Only 10,000 total editions. If you hit today, my man, you're going to get a pretty valuable comic. That's for sure. Dub for sure. Let's go. Sway Collects in the building. Poon style. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Willow saying, I wanted Donald so bad. I just don't know what to move to get it. I def got it in the vault. I've just gotten attached to what I got. Yeah, absolutely, Willow. That's always the, how I get to, especially with my duplicates. I think just by getting 2 or 3 duplicates, I'll be fine that I'm not attached to them. But even when you get 2 or 3 duplicates, you start thinking like, oh, you start growing emotionally attached to even those duplicates. But finally, I am letting go of one of my Nightwings. And I did want to wait until it pumped back up to at least like 3-4K, but I'd rather have the 2 gems right now. I got some moves in my head that I'm thinking about making, so trying to let go of one of my Nightwing. I absolutely love Nightwing. You guys know that, but that's why I can't let go of my first two Nightwing that I originally owned. I am letting go of my third one that I won as a trophy. I'm going to replace that with another collectible, so that'll be my trophy. Prices are still very low, even after Golden Moments drop. What do you think? Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree, Poon Style. Like I was saying earlier, I probably did just cover this before answering this question, but I'll kind of answer this one again. I did think that the market was kind of going to pump about like right now, and we're seeing things kind of just still kind of stall out in the market. Nothing's really pumping right now. Some things increased, some things retraced a little bit. And again, I think a lot of people are just holding gems. I think there's not fear in the market, but there's almost anticipation in the market, I would say. So as we see plenty of times before, the fear in the market will cause a lot of things to dip or retrace or not pump. But also, I feel like with VeVe, I've learned that anticipation of that new drop, anticipation of what's to come in the future. People don't want to get left holding no gems and being forced to kind of sell things at a low point. So I think people are trying to stack up gems right now. And if they have stacked up gems, I don't think they're really having too much buy pressure in the market. And because of that, that's why we see things just kind of stall out right now. There's not too much buying pressure. There's not too much pump going on right now in the market. What's going on, Jerry? The Palace is in the building. Let's go. We got Jerry in the building. Is Brendan Z in the building as well? JD, did you hear about the glitch this morning that was disabling accounts, had people stuck on the loading screen, and then when they tried uninstalling and reinstalling, they got accidentally clapped? I did not know about that, Willow. I woke up kind of late today, later than usual. Wanted to sleep in a little bit. It was my birthday, so I wanted to sleep in just a little bit extra. But I only saw on Twitter. I saw somebody. I woke up. I saw somebody saying that they got their account disabled. They had Omi in the app, etc. But then within a couple hours, I checked again and said they got it all resolved. So I'm not sure what that glitch was, but I think if anybody had that issue, hopefully you did make a support ticket. Hopefully you got that situation taken care of. And if you haven't had that problem happen to you and you're wondering like how would you get that resolved if it happened to you, just stay calm about it. That's the biggest thing. Don't lash out, start talking negative, etc. Because, I mean, that's the worst thing that you can do in that point. Just stay calm, and it's easier said than done, of course. But make a support ticket and just stay patient. I mean, the VeVe team will get back to you as soon as they possibly can, and hopefully resolve that. So, Crypto King, VeVe needs to get rid of the VeVe store. Everything is sold out. That's actually a great question, or a great statement, I guess you could say. So, Crypto King, I don't think they should get rid of the VeVe store, actually. I think they should keep that store there. But they did say in the future that they do plan to keep that in stock, I would say. I know they said that, and then they went back to having extremely limited drops. And it's kind of that balance that they want to keep. They want to keep these drops limited to make sure that these are still collectibles at the end of the day. So, they want to make sure that these are still valuable. But I think we just haven't crossed that point yet. I think they're still blessing us with opportunities to be able to get these extremely limited drops on the regular. I think soon in the future, we will see VeVe kind of switch gears a little bit and have tons of drops each week. It may go from, 2 drops a week to 4 drops a week, multiple drops a day, maybe even more than 4. Maybe it might go to like 5 or 6 drops a week. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's kind of, I think, where they're gearing things towards. And then at that point, they're going to have things in the store for new people to come and get. One drop may be, another 100,000 edition collectible, but then the next drop may be a super rare 1,000 edition drop. So right now we're seeing all super limited drops pretty much for the most part. And I think in the future, we're going to start to see a little bit of everything. If anybody was here during that DeLorean drop where we saw 50,000 editions for the common, I do think we're going to see more of those. But then right after that, we may see that super limited, super rare 1 of 100, 1 of 1,000, 1 of 5,000 again editions. So that's just kind of how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong about that. That's kind of my speculation, my insight on it. Jerry, happy birthday, JD. Appreciate that. Meiji, happy birthday. Good morning, Pioneers, and good luck. Happy birthday, Johnny. Appreciate that, J Kill. The J Kill family in the building. Pioneers for sure, my man. Lawrence Pitts, happy birthday, Johnny. Appreciate that, guys. Definitely appreciate that. Just turned 21. I'm just kidding. I do feel young, though. I do feel like I'm about like 22, 23. So I'll say I'm that young. Appreciate that, Jason. Big time, big time. Musky Doge, what up, VeVe fam? There's been an eerie feeling past few days that people feel there's a huge drop coming. Yeah, Musky Doge. I mean, I don't think people know there's a huge drop coming, but I think people are just anticipating it. And I know a lot of times in the marketplace, anytime you see fear in the market, that's when things kind of retrace, they fall a little bit, no pumps really happening. So right now, I would say there's not really fear in the market, but it's anticipation. That's kind of what I would say. That's like the new VeVe market killer. It's not even really fun anymore. Fear, because it's like people used to fear that these weren't real NFTs, but now we're on Ethereum. People know these are real NFTs, right? People used to fear there's no MTL, it's a scam. Well, we know MTL's here, it's just being rolled out slowly. So it's like the fear has almost been eliminated at this point. Obviously, there's like cycles of things, right? But right now, I think it's more so anticipation. I feel like anticipation is the biggest VeVe market killer right now. That's my new word for when it's VeVe, when it's not pumping, there's just too much anticipation in the market. Because when people anticipate things, we're seeing that right now, Musky Doge. People are thinking of big drops coming. And it may not happen this month. VeVe's so good at adapting and kind of getting a feel for the community. And if they feel like things aren't right, or maybe it's with the licensor agreement, they don't have it ready just yet, maybe it's next month. And so if things come out and it's not the biggest drop of the month or whatever the case may be, then maybe we do see the market just extremely pump right then. So we'll see what happens. I definitely think it's smart to have some gems, always in stock, not in stock, but in your bag, in your account. Because if you can keep a healthy gem balance, I mean, that way you can always take advantage of any kind of opportunities that come by. That's definitely easier said than done, for sure. Because as soon as you have a lot of gems in your account, you definitely want to be making moves in the market. But you got to be disciplined. That's the biggest thing about this, is trying to have that gem discipline. Don't be so much looking for opportunities. Let those opportunities come to you. Jason, appreciate that. Billy the Kid, appreciate that big time, guys. Willow, it's your birthday. No, all good, my man. All good. I didn't really put it out there or anything. I think it is on my Twitter. There was a point where I tried getting it off my Twitter, but I couldn't figure out how to get the date off my Twitter. So I was like, you know what? It is what it is. It's going to be advertised out there. Cheers to anybody else's birthday out there. Cheers to everybody else's birthday that's in February. Best birthday month of all time. Just kidding. Actually, I always kind of wish I had a summer birthday. What's your favorite collectible that you have? Great question, Meiji. I have a couple. I can't just say one. I really can't. It's so hard for me just to say one collectible. I would say not value-wise. Like, I'm not going to talk about my most valuable collectible. I'm just going to talk about my favorite collectibles that I love just because I love the collectible itself. Obviously, Todd. I don't think Todd can be in this question just because it's a given. It's the first VeVe NFT. First Batman collectible ever in digital format. I mean, I love Batman. It's probably my favorite superhero by far. So besides Todd Batman, I would say Nightwing's up there, and that's why I have one for sale right now, but it's my third Nightwing. Like, I have 3 Nightwings. I want to have some kind of liquidity for it. And I won this Nightwing. It's the fantasy football trophy. Let's go. I'm so happy I won that. So that one means a lot to me. But I'm going to basically replace that trophy with another trophy for that Nightwing. But I'm always going to keep my 2 original Nightwing. I got my first drop ever on VeVe was the Nightwing drop. So I was blessed. I was able to get that drop. And not only just the drop, I was able to get 2 Nightwings. So the 2 Nightwing I do own, I'm the original owner of them. So I'm going to keep them for as long as I possibly can. Big fan of Nightwing. Also, I love Ripmo. I didn't love Ripmo as much before it got animated. I won't lie, but once it got animated, it really, really drew me in. And that's why I always say shout out to Franelations, because Franelations was huge on Ripmo. Franelations is the NFT GOAT. If you're watching, my man, appreciate you big time just for, always having my back, being one of my early friends in VeVe. We found it so early together. I always try to pick your brain with the NFT space. And, Franelations was big on Ripmo right away. He was saying, that's his favorite. And I did agree. I loved Ripmo. Ripmo was like top for me, but it wasn't my like number top 3, I would say. But I just love the dreadlocks. Me with long hair, I'm trying to braid my hair eventually one day, so I love the dreadlocks. The black and the yellow contrast, I just thought it looked crispy, clean. Big fan of Ritmo, just the way it looks. And once it got animated, the first fully animated collectible ever, I was big on it. I actually had 2 Ritmos for the longest time, and because I just kept seeing one day eventually we're going to have all these collectibles be animated, be dynamic eventually one day. People have seen the teaser from way back in the day on David Yu's Instagram post of Monster Hunter and how that was animated. That really got my thinking to where all of these are going to be dynamic one day. So if you could have the first ever fully animated collectible, I thought that'd be huge. And I think it still will be huge. It's just taking a lot of time for that one. Not even a lot of time, but compared to some of these other ones that exploded so quickly. Big fan of Ritmo, Nightwing, Todd. Oh man, of course Walt. Walt is up there too for me. Not even just because of the price. That probably is. Well, I would say Secret of Spider-Man is my most valuable collectible right now. But Walt Disney. I mean, you guys know I'm a huge fan of gold. So like Walt Disney with my golden dragon girls, absolutely love them. The all gold dragon girl, but really the gold and silver from season 1. I absolutely love those. So I would say a combination of the dragon girls, the Walt, the Todd, the Nightwing, the Ritmo. I have too many favorites. I love them all, honestly. And that's the thing, too. Like, I'm a collector in my heart, so I will talk about these Golden Moments prices. We have about 7 minutes before the market closes. But I'm a collector in my heart, so there's a lot of times to where I won't even care about if a collectible dips in price because I'm keeping it. Like, I'm holding it no matter what. So a lot of times I won't even try to day trade a lot of these collectibles if I absolutely love them. If I don't love something, that's when I'll be like, okay, I can kind of risk, day trading this one, try to get some gems, maybe buy it back later. And that's what I've done with a few of these. But it's really going to get to the point where we have so many drops, you're going to have to start picking your fandom. And I've already seen myself having to do that sometimes. So Lee Wong, happy birthday, Mr. Perfect Time. And appreciate that, Lee Wong. My time has been off lately. Right after I got done saying, I put out a video how to get these drops, call myself the Drop King. A little bit of karma now. And went on a little 0 for 3 drought. VeVe does bring out the young spirit in us, older ones in the platform, so I don't blame you saying 21. Absolutely, Lawrence Pitts. No, that's the biggest thing. Like, VeVe brings out the kid in everybody because we're all bonding. I'm not even sure where you're from around the world, Lawrence Pitts. It could be from a different country, right? I'm over here in the United States in Jersey. I'm friends now with people all over the world, all because we bond over the same fandom. We both like Batman. We both like Marvel, or we're both Disney fans, right? Like, that's the thing about VeVe is no matter your age, everybody's a fan of something. You could be, a 19-year-old kid, but you love Walt Disney. You could be, a 30-year-old person. Boom, you love Walt Disney still. You could be a grandparent, and you love taking your family to Disney. It brings you back those memories. So that's why I love this, is because you bond with people all different ages, right? Grandparents, etc., adults from all different countries, communities, cultures. Like, it's unbelievable. Let me dive into some of these golden moments before the market closes. We got Donald Duck, 1.5K, so it has dipped a little bit. And there's just a lot of not additions, I would say, but a lot of collectibles in the market for sale right now. So it could take some time. But as you see before, I mean, with the first round of golden moments, it looked like the same thing was happening. And then all of a sudden, boom, they bring out the sweepers. And some of these floors get swept pretty quickly. So we'll see how far Donald Duck dips. 1.5K right now. There's only a couple of them before it gets back to 1.6K. Then we have Lady and the Tramp. I actually don't have this one. 1.1K is the floor. I probably will be buying that one soon. So those are the last 2 golden moments that dropped. Let's go back to the very first ones. Homer and Bart, 285 in the market, 1.6K. So that one's dipped a little bit even too. It was flowing at like 2.1K it's gotten to. Then we have the skateboard, 1.1K. Wally, 1.2K is the floor. Pizza Truck, 1.6K. And a lot of times people are just joining now, and they may have seen these at the all-time high and think they've crashed right to where they're right now. But if anybody was here from November when they first got launched, you guys know how long they've been sitting in there for just a few $100s, right? I mean, Wally couldn't get past 500 for the longest time. So I always talk about how in the micro things always go up and down, right? Every time there's a run up, there's a little bit of retracement. Run up, a little bit of a retracement. But every time it retraces, the floor is now set way higher than it was before. So Once you understand that, in the micro, there's always ups and downs, but in the macro, you have to look at where the macro trend is. In the macro trend, are we heading down or are we headed up? And if anyone's been here since the very beginning, we know the macro trend is up, up, and away. Let's go over, let's see here. Avengers logo, 1.4K. Iron Man, 2.3K. So it's only dipped about 600. It was like 2.9, I think, the all-time high. Every time I say all-time high, I think of Party in Dubai. That Dubai song with It's Wonderful and Gamma. I forget how it goes, but it says something like how we're at all-time high, partying in Dubai. That's a good song too. I like that one. We got Elsa at 3.4K. We got, let's see here, Mickey Hat, 3.4K. I think those are going to be great ones for sure. C3PO, this is another legendary one, 3.7K. Star Wars is just going to be unbelievable, guys. 7.8K for R2D2. Then last but not least, one of my favorites, Walt, 37.8K. Unbelievable. So a lot of people may see Walt at 37K, and I think some people were freaking out like, Walt's crashing. And I kind of just sit back and laugh because, like, first of all, it was just so, I think the high was 45K. And there's only, I think there's less than 10 to get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so only 7 to go, and then we're back up to 45K. And the thing is, like, when there's 4,000 editions or et cetera, however many editions there are of Walt, I think 4,444 or 3,333. You know, you're with that many people, as opposed to like 500 editions, you're going to have, you know, like when there's thousands of people that are holding that collectible, you're just going to have more and more people with the opportunity or be willing to take profits at an earlier point than others. So that's the only reason why we see the price dip. There's actually a really good mint number here, even 3,500 mint number. So I think there's probably 4,444 of these for 42K. But then there's also a 793 mint for 44K. Oh, man, if I had gems right now, if I had 50K gems, I was thinking about buying a Walt. I'd probably buy that sub 1,000 for 44K. My mint numbers for Walt, they're not even that good. So there has been times for sure to where I've thought about listing one of my Walts and then buying back a better mint number. But something with Walt being a Disney with that the Disney tax, it's pretty hard to do it, because if you list something for 40K, you know, you're going to be getting not 40K. You're going to be getting a lot lower than that. So you got to make sure you sell for high enough to be able to buy back a floor. But the thing with the Walt is, you know, 37K, it's not a crash. That's just a little retracement. People are trying to liquidate and put it into some other things. And you never know. They might have duplicate Walts. I mean, there's been plenty of times. VeVe just tweeted out 30 minutes to go to the drop. I'm going to repost that. Like, there's been plenty of times ever since Walt was as low as 13,000, 14,000. I've been thinking about, because everybody knows by now my story about how I had 2 Givenchys, 2 Givenchy's, and I only had 1 Walt at the time. So I traded basically my second Givenchy for that second Walt, because Givenchy was 4K, Walt was like 3K at the time. And then I woke up and it was 8K. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then when it got to like 14K, I really debated big time. I was like, do I let go of one of these Walt Disneys for another Givenchy, sell for 14K, buy a couple of Givenchys? And I didn't, because I was kept thinking to myself, the more I gamble, the more I make these, you know, huge decisions, the more likely I am to eventually make the wrong decision. I've been, knock on wood, I've been making amazing decisions lately. Not even lately. I feel like my just whole journey with VeVe, not every decision has been perfect, but I made some amazing big ones. And so I feel like the more I risk it, the more chances I take, I'm bound to make a wrong decision. And I wasn't confident, 100% confident like I originally was to get the second Walt. So I just decided to hold. I decided not to sell that second Walt for 14K. And I am so thankful to the higher powers that I did not sell it, because a few days later, Walt got to 30K. Then Walt got to 35K. Now it's at 45K. Well, it was just at 45K. It's dipped down to 37K again. But so, I mean, from 45 to 37K, it's not a crash to me. That's just a little retracement. If it went all the way back down to, say, 5,000, yeah, I'd say Walt crashed. But, you know, that's the thing. This is Walt Disney. This is the one that started the entire journey. So having that and the first appearance of Mickey Mouse in one collectible, it'd be great to have, 50K liquid gems to be able to make moves in different avenues. And I've thought about that all the time, but I just can't let go of that Walt Disney, the second one, at least not yet. Maybe there's going to come a time where I do decide to liquidate that, but really don't want to do that just yet. That's my baby. I love, even if it's dipped in price, I just love kind of like that stunt of having two Walt Disneys in the front of my like digital mansion to just greet people. My problem is that I incorporate a lot of these duplicate NFTs that I get, like the duplicate Dragon Girl from season 1, the duplicate Walt. I incorporate them so heavily into my showrooms. It's where I love my showrooms, and then it's like, well, I can't even sell my duplicates because even my duplicates now have become part of my house. So maybe in the future when I get more duplicates, I'll make sure I don't incorporate them in my virtual house. Good morning, Kelvin, my man. How we doing, fam? How you doing today, Kelvin? Hopefully you get this drop today. 10,000 total editions. Going to be pretty valuable, I think, right away. My game plan for this, I haven't even really had time to check out this comic. I think it was a smart decision by them to make it a 10K edition run, just because I feel like if they did make this 30,000 editions, what it's normally been, I think it'll probably get resold a common at like, $10 again. So this is Marvel's way to kind of test out things. If we have a not so much sought after comic book, let's try making it super limited, give it some value. And if they continue to do that in the future, it's going to be so interesting to see how the dynamics change. Because just because it's scarce, I'm under the belief that just because it's scarce, it's not going to make it highly sought after. I think it's a combination of both. Because, for instance, if it was just all about scarcity, you could have someone crumple up a piece of paper and it's a 1 of 1, right? It's scarce, but who's that person? So just because it's a scarce comic book, if they continue to do this in the future, which I think they have said in the future that they are going to make, highly limited runs again. So for me, that's the reason why I wasn't able to get that 1,000 edition comic book, because if there was the one-time deal, I probably wouldn't, been able to get the gems to afford that one. But because we know that they're going to make, super limited runs again, more 1,000 edition comics, I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to be able to keep that up. There's no way. So I decided to pass on that one comic book. So this one's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, 10,000 total editions. We have 250 secret rares. I think secret rares will definitely be pretty valuable right away. I think my game plan for this, I am going to try to flip this, I think. If I land an ultra rare, secret rare, I will try to flip this for some gems. And maybe just hold on to the gems. There's a couple things in the market that I really want to get. But I'm kind of waiting. I guess I'm playing the waiting game too, like a lot of other people are. There's a couple of collectibles that I bought, but I want to at least have, a couple thousand gems right now. So if I get this comic book, I probably will flip it. It's probably going to come out pretty expensive. Let's see, there we go. It focused up. So we got the common right here. I'd like to get a 3-digit common on the drop. I just keep it in that case. There's the uncommon. There's the rare. I do like the rare. The ultra rare. I feel like the rare looks clean. Do I like the rare more than the ultra rare on this one? Interesting. I think I do. I like the rare more than the ultra rare. What do you guys think? Write in the comments. Do you like the rare or the ultra rare? I like the rare more for the first time in a while. I think it's just because the ultra rare background kind of blends too much in with the character. And the white and black background just makes that character pop with the blue and yellow wording. I think that looks clean. And same with the secret rare. I like the secret rare probably more than the ultra rare. Secret rare or the rare? Oh. For the first time ever, I may like the rare the most out of all the rarities. Yeah, Getsy. How we doing, fam? Eric 505. Good morning, everybody. I think people are pretty upset, losing some faith in VeVe about regarding FAFE issues. Thoughts? Flagtastic. I think you were the one the other day who was saying is there going to be no more all-time high, right? I think that was you. I don't think people are losing faith in VeVe. I think people are kind of frustrated right now with the drop system. I think that's kind of, lurking into a lot of other different issues, leaking into a lot of other different issues. The FE tags, I don't think that's going to be an issue because I think they were pretty clear on that. I mean, they are going to leave the FE tags on the original ones that were there. So like the first Batman series, first Batman set. That's what also made me want to pick up another Joe M. Batman. I love my early showrooms, guys. I had 7 FA Jokers, 7 FA Harley Quinns, 7 Joe M. Batmans. I would have loved to keep them just because I think it looks awesome to have them all stacked up like that. But, I mean, in order to grow my showroom, in order to grow my collection to what it is today, there is no way I would have been able to keep putting in money the way I did. Or the way I did in the very beginning, I should say. So I put in a lot of money in the very beginning, like all the money that I had, even more the money that I had. So it's just been a blessing. And I used a lot of those Joe M. Batmans to grow my collection and get a lot of different pieces. But I do kind of want to go back and get some more FE tags of collectibles that I know they won't ever make again. And plus with that Harley Quinn set, if anyone has that red and black first Harley Quinn set, the Steve Pugh one, I think that's going to be amazing. I think there's only 500 editions of that ultra rare. So that's going to be an unbelievable collectible. I don't even have that one. I don't have that one or the Terry Dobson, actually. I only have the 2 uncommons. And that's a weird set, too, because there's no common in that one. There's 2 uncommons. And I got my Harley Quinn that has that error on it. It's one of the first ever errors on VeVe. Man, I haven't looked at this set in the longest time. So I forget the name of it. It's unbelievable. Harley Quinn. It's the red and black. Yeah, the Bob's Tar. That's it. The 08. That's my favorite looking Harley Quinn. And the reason why I got this one is because it's a mint number 1177. My favorite numbers. That's my favorite looking Harley Quinn right there. I wish I had a bunch of them, but I only got the one. Happy birthday, JD. God bless you, my friend. Appreciate that, Kelvin. Big time, brother. Big time. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's the way I feel, Getsy. He responded to Flagtastic. People are putting way too much thought and energy into retagging. In 2 weeks, there'll be something else people will be up in arms about. That's the biggest. It's so funny, Getsy, because like you're starting to see the people that like kind of, and there's nothing wrong with just joining. I mean, everybody's going to have their date of entry, right? But it's just so funny to see the people that have been here for a while now. You guys start to see like, Getsy, you've been here for a while now. Like you understand the cycles of everything. Everything in life has cycles. That's the way I see it. Like nothing is ever going to stay the same. If you want to guarantee something, just guarantee that it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to change from the way it is now, because that's one of the only guarantees in life is change. Appreciate that big time. Yeah, Rimo's definitely dope. Rasta Music Unicorn. That's a fact. Batmobile FA on blockchain is coming out via AMC and Palm. Might just be 2D. Do you think that'll affect future Batmobiles on VeVe? I really don't think so, J Kill, because we've seen that with the Wonder Woman. We've seen that with a few other DC collectibles. They've been on different platforms, but in like a 2D version. And VeVe's is a first appearance of the. Excuse me. I think the Batmobile would actually be FE first edition because it's not a character. But regardless, I think it would be FE or FA on VeVe, just because it's FA of the Batmobile in premium digital format. It's not FE or FA of the Batmobile in like a 2D version of it. The whole thing with VeVe is like these are first appearances of these characters in premium digital format. And the other thing is too, like these brands like DC, they understand this. I'm pretty sure they're understanding, or they understand what they're giving out to other platforms. And that's one thing that the VeVe team, the Coleman team did talk about, which gave me more confidence, is that like Marvel, they understand what they're giving out. Or I'm sorry, like DC, they know that they gave out X to another platform, but they gave VeVe the first appearance of Batman, the first edition of Batman. Like these, I think Rizzo is going to be unbelievable. Like people talk about, if you guys haven't tuned into NFT Pirates' channel by now, which most of you have, if you're new and you haven't, definitely check out NFT Pirates on YouTube. just came out today with an awesome interview with a bunch of OGs. And I didn't get a chance to watch it all, but I started watching a little bit. And he touched on this too, I'm pretty sure, in this video, or maybe it was a previous video, but I was under the same impression. As soon as we got announced with the new retagging of these collectibles being first edition, I definitely see Rizzo equaling a Charizard. And here's the reason why. I mean, Chad, he came from a Pokemon background as a collector, and he was more of a collector back then than I was. I think I just collected Pokemon cards just because, like, I wasn't really into collecting. And so, but I did end up just having to collect them over time. And he talked about how the Charizard, the first edition, I mean, right now, and it makes so much sense because this is what I learned right as I was finding VeVe. This is what I had to learn. I didn't understand this back then, which is crazy to think about because this is like my obsession now. It's just wild. Like Charizard today and Pokemon cards, they make more Charizards, but they're not $1 million worth, right? They're not $500,000 worth, right? And that's because it's not first edition Charizard. There's only going to be X amount of first edition Charizards because they don't make them anymore. The same way with Batman. They don't make first edition Batmans. There's never going to be another first edition Batman. Makes me just want to sell one of my Walt's right now. I get 2 Rizzos as we speak. I'm not going to do that because I think Walt's going to be another, huge collectible. But just makes me regret not getting a second Rizzo. Man, I could have had so many opportunities. That's one that I really, really wish I got. Second Rizzo, because I do. I mean, the same way we see first appearance Batman is going to be legendary. There's not going to be another first appearance, first edition of Batman. Would you trade your Nightwing for a Boba Fett NFT? I think Boba Fett would do amazing. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of Boba Fett growing up, so I would probably use that to sell that one to get the gems for the Darth Vader that drops. Now, I wasn't even the biggest fan of Darth Vader growing up. But because VeVe's got Star Wars now, it's got me digging into the whole, these different genres, these different brands. And I would love to have a Darth Vader NFT just for my museum. My sniffles. Here we go. Right around drop time. 15 minutes to drop. Sniffle gate. Unbelievable. This time it feels like more clogged than anything. But for me, I definitely want a Luke Skywalker and a Darth Vader NFT, a collectible in my museum. Because again, guys, I'm trying to create like an awesome looking digital museum and not like the best museum ever created. I may not be able to get that. There's going to be people, there's multi-millionaires, right, who are going to have a better collection than I am. But I feel like I'm just going to build the best collection I can possibly build and just everything that Johnny Dunn is into. So that way, using the followers that I was able to create with the platform, all of you guys, when you guys check out my museum, showroom, whatever you want to call it, you're looking at like Johnny Dunn's favorite collectibles. So it has a little bit of like a personal meaning, because not everybody's going to be into the same thing. And that's what's cool about this, is because you could go to your other favorite creator or influencer, whatever you want to call the person, and they could have an amazing showroom collection based on all the stuff that they like. So if you're into that person, if you're a fan of that person, you get to see everything that they're fans of. So I think that's what's so cool about these collections, is because it's going to be personalized, a little bit different for every single person. Oh, let's go. Simone Biles. I joined right after the golden moment, so I was hyped when I got Lady and the Tramp 324, my first golden moment. Yeah, that's amazing. Anytime you get your first golden moment, that's something to be very happy, proud about, because just like when I said it, oh, solid. I sold it for $3K after the drop because of low mint. Nice. And you have a chance to buy back in now for half that price. Because I think even less than half the price. Because I think, what was it? Lady and the Tramp. Lady and the Tramp's probably about 1K right now, 1.1. So great job at doing that. And that's the thing. I mean, you learned pretty quick. I'm not sure if you learned through the channel or anybody else, but shout out to you, Simone, for learning that if you sold it right away, you could probably get the most amount of money for it as opposed to waiting. That's why I always say that, after the drop happens, if you get the drop and you don't know what it is, or even if you know what it is, great, that's even better. As soon as you get that drop and you have that 30-minute window, don't just kind of like zoom out or like forget about things and just like wait till the market opens. That's when you really start wanting to like, okay, now it's go time. Now start thinking of a game plan. Do you want this collectible? If you don't really want it, you're not really into it, or whatever the case may be, you may want to sell it right away. If you come up with a game plan and you're confident, okay, I want to sell this right away, Boom, that's probably what you did. You sold it for 3K. And now look, you can buy it back for 1K. So you can just profit 2K right there and still have that same collectible. As opposed to if you, with that 30-minute window, that little time before the market opens, if you just sat there, didn't really pay attention to anything, didn't come up with a game plan, market opens, you're not even sure what to do now. Now you're looking at the prices. Oh, now you're starting to think, should I sell it? Do I want this? By the time you come up with the decision to actually sell it, the prices might have dipped down to 1.5K. And then it's like, now do you even really want to sell it because it's low? So great job, Simone. And just coming up with a game plan right away, that's crucial. New York, Long Island. So we close, bro. Oh, yeah, definitely. That's right up the, not right up the street. I'm down in South Jersey, but I mean, still North Jersey's right up there. Oh man, Super Rush says I fell asleep before the last golden moment drop. Did the same for Spidey Mighties, 2 p.m. drops or past my bedtime, work overnights. Oh man, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, Super Rush. Where are you from? Is it what time? Because some of these drop times are tough for people, especially in Australia and these different countries. Because I know they have drops at, for us, the drops that are like 3 p.m., 11 a.m. Eastern time. So for me, that works out perfect. That's a blessing. But for a lot of people in different countries, that's like 4 a.m. in the morning. And I know for December, that's always tough for December big time. Katsumatsu, let's go. We got a winner of a recent giveaway in the building. Let's go. And we are live. Let's go, Jabe. How we doing, brother? Making any music lately? I got to hear Jabe's feeling banger. This doesn't have to do with VeVe, but who's your favorite music artist? Great question, Meiji. So I got a few. Right now, I would say overall is definitely Russ. I would say not including Johnny Dunn, not including Pineapple Gang, of course. It's wonderful. I would definitely say Russ, Russ. That's just because, I've been following Russ for a long time now before he kind of made it popular, made it poppin', became kind of mainstream. And his whole message, I was just vibing with, rocking with from the very beginning. He was preaching independence, ownership. From him, I learned out how to even put my songs on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify. I had no idea. I was just putting songs on SoundCloud, and I had no idea what I was doing at the time. I learned how to put it on SoundCloud. So I put it on SoundCloud as a little trial. And then someone left a comment saying, how can I buy this? I can't find it on iTunes. And that's the moment I lost my mind. I was going crazy. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't even know how to put it on iTunes. I didn't know how to do any of this. So I was like, it was a game-changing moment for me because, I mean, obviously we know that you don't get paid that much money for someone buying it on iTunes, but it was just a principle behind it that I was like, okay, I just came out of nowhere. Nobody expected music. I didn't even expect music. If you told me I was making music, a week before I started, I would have called you crazy probably. So I came out of nowhere, tried it, just put it out there. And once I found out that someone was like asking how to buy it, I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, let me learn how to like do this a little bit, And so that's what started that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, undercutting is going to happen for sure. I mean, that's just part of it. But I'm extremely tempted to put my tax returns in the VeVe. I'm not telling you what to do, what you should do. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is financial advice. My opinions only, entertainment. But I will say that I went all in. I'm not telling you guys to go all in because going all in now is different than going all in back in March. But I mean, people called me crazy back then, even too. I had a feeling this was going to blow up. And people ask me all the time, like, did you expect to blow up this quick? It's so funny because it's like back in March, I expected this where we're at right now to be like April or May. I really did. That's why I was hurrying up to grab everything. I was telling people it's about to go crazy because I felt late. I felt like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a gold mine. I'm trying to get as much money as I possibly can to try to go all in. I didn't have much money at all. So I thought I was going to pop like the next month. But then April, May happened, June, a lot of that FUD happened. And I was like, oh, wait, the OMI price crashed. And I was like, okay, maybe this is going to take a little bit longer than I originally expected. Maybe it's going to take like a year or two, So I was like, okay, I'm willing to wait it out another 5 years. I don't care. Like, that's always how I've been. I've been always about like a tunnel vision grind. I've been grinding the last 10 years of my life already. just for things that never really panned out. I thought it was gonna be a baseball, but so I've already had that mindset of putting in work every single day and not getting a dollar for it, like just that long-term vision. I've already had that kind of mindset. So when I found VeVe, it was just like I just slid right into this one now. It's like this is the next goal that I have. And so it's just funny how that kind of happened. Like I expected the boom the next month. It didn't. I was like, okay, I'm ready to sit on this for the next few years. And then, a handful of months go by and boom, take off. It's kind of wild how that happened. Oh, okay. So it's topped out at 49K for Walt. Okay, I didn't know that. I only saw it at like 45K. But still, 45K, 49K. How we doing, IV? Nice to see it in the chat today. Excuse me. I sold the first Wonder Woman 175 for 900 and regretted it immediately. Yeah. So the one thing about Wonder Woman is when you have an important FA like that, I think you mean the first appearance of Wonder Woman. When you have like an important Wonder Woman or an important character like that, and it comes out pretty low, that's the downside of you. When I say you not that you should sell things immediately, but when you decide to sell things immediately, it's always that it's not a blanket statement for every single drop, because every single drop on VeVe is different. And so that's kind of what you have to weigh out in your mind. That's part of that game planning, is not only do you want to game plan about what you want to do, if you're thinking about selling this right away, think about, things if it comes out in the marketplace. So, come up with that game plan, what you want to do. Okay, if I get this collectible, I'm thinking about selling it. I don't really love it. I kind of want to sell it right away. But have kind of that number in your head, because if the marketplace comes out, I think on Wonder Woman, it came out really, really low. Came out maybe like 150, 200. Took a while even to get to 300, I think. So for Wonder Woman, if you had like a number in your head, maybe like 500, 800, or 900 in your head right away, and you came out and sold it, that may not be the best idea depending on what the price comes out. So it's always tough, and you may not make the right decision. The thing about selling anything on VeVe is it's always a risk. I mean, anytime you sell anything, it's a possibility of it just skyrocketing. We have 1.9 million active users now monthly. So I do believe a lot of these things on this app will go up in price. It just depends. Some things are going to go up a lot more than some others. So there's been times when I've sold some things and it just kept on going up before it came back down, or maybe it didn't even come back down yet. I've just been very, very blessed to where luckily a lot of the decisions I made end up going in my favor, but there's been plenty of times where I made the wrong decision too. I think something that's been noted a few different times is when I made the decision to stack the wrong comic almost. Like I stacked the Incredible Hulk that was not the first appearance of the Incredible Hulk. So I had like 40 of these comics that are a little bit more than what I paid for, but not much right now. So we all make mistakes. It's just important to remember that not every drop is identical. So it's definitely not a blanket statement for every single one. KA saying, why is the market crashing? I don't think the market's crashing. This is kind of what I talked about a little bit before, KA. Right now, the market, there's a lot of anticipation in the market. So a lot of people are trying to stack gems, I think, and wait for a big drop to happen. What do you think about Decon and OpenSea migration? I think Decon has a lot of super limited drops, meaning limited edition drops, super rare, super scarce. And we will be able to send a lot of those collectibles from Decon, those artist collectibles, to OpenSea through Immutable X, to our IMX wallet. And when that happens, I think it's going to be game-changing. We'll see how well it does. For the most part, I plan to keep a lot of my VeVe collectibles on the VeVe app personally. But I will try to, test it out with a couple artist collectibles, maybe some low mints, send it over there, see how it does. See how much we can get in ETH for it, maybe OMI as well, because I think we will be able to list it in ETH OMI. Somebody said something about Steamboat Willie. Yeah, it was at 10K. Now it's at 4.9K. I think there's just a lot of additions for that collectible, so there's just more people willing to take profits at an earlier point. With something with like 1,000 editions or 500 editions, there's just less and less people. And most of the time, the people that have those collectibles, they don't need the money. So they're able to hold it without a problem. The problem is when you have a lot of editions of a collectible, even if it's highly, highly important, valuable, you just have more people that hold that, more people willing to take profits a little bit earlier, I think. So I still think it's going to be up there at 10K. But right now it's dipped because people undercut. People are trying to get a quick sell. I think after we get this big drop, or if there isn't a big drop like people are expecting, the whole market's going to pump again. But maybe it takes a little bit longer. I think there's just too much anticipation going on. That's the only way I can put it. I don't know. I kind of like Wally a little bit better than Lady and Tramp, to be honest. Just because Wally, it's part of that first ever Disney Golden Moment set. We have 2 minutes and 20 seconds to the drop, everyone. And so I think if just comparing those two by itself, I'd probably go with the Wally. Ivy, this is a great point. Even while crashing, lots of my stuff is hundreds or thousands more than I paid for them. Absolutely. And I'm glad to hear that, because that's kind of what I was saying earlier about how it's just the ebb and flow in the micro, but that macro trend is still up, meaning like when things pump, they're going to come down a little bit. Then they pump again, then they come down a little bit. But that little bit that they come down is still way higher than what they were at before, right? So I think it's those people that join during that pump and then they come back down for a retracement and they're like, wow, it crashed. But you're looking at it like, yeah, it's dipped, but it's still a lot more than what it was before. So at what time do you refresh the VeVe drop screen? Great question, Albert. So we'll see right here. So the timer is 1 minute, 13 seconds. I'll probably back out like right now. Come back in. You got a minute, 7 seconds. And then at like 30 seconds, I'll probably do it again. Shout out to my coffee gators out there. Let's go. Good luck today on the drop. Sorry I didn't get to all these comments. I'll try to get to more of them. Ooh. All right, I'm going to record my screen. This is going to sell out super quick, guys. So if you guys get this, all right, I'm backing out again. All right, 39 seconds, 38, 37. This one feels pretty accurate right now. I'm just going to go with it. Not going to back out again. Not going to play those games today. Got a lot of people texting me right now. Hope it doesn't mess up my timer. Oh, man. A lot of people wishing me happy birthday right now. Appreciate you guys big time. I'm going to back out one more time. 19 seconds. Oh, man, that was risky. All right, 15 seconds, everyone. Good luck. Let's see. We got 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Bye now. I think I got it. I didn't get it. Wow. I didn't get it. 0 for 4. Wow. Struck out. Man, that was perfect timing right there. So as you guys can see, you can time it perfect and you still miss out sometimes. I feel good about that one just because I did time it as fast as I possibly could, I think, and I just didn't get it. So anytime, like I always say, you can only control so much, right? You can only control what you can control. So the only thing that we can control is your time speed. So if you don't get it, it just didn't get distributed to you. If you did get it, shout out to you and congrats. But let me go over my film here. Gotta watch the film right away. Come on, focus up for me. One time. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Bye now. That's just a split second late. I felt like I was on point, though. It looked a little late when I'm watching the replay here, but when I was doing it live, it felt perfect. Three, 2, 1, 0. Bye now. Nada. And that's the downside of it. I mean, it won't work every time. All you can do is really just, time it as best you possibly can, as consistent as you can, and then eventually it'll get through. 0 for 4, though. Got to get back on my hot streak. Hey, good evening, fam. Good luck. I'm going to try to If I miss your comment, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to jump through a lot of these. Sorry I didn't get to this one. Best tips for the drops. Brendan Z, happy birthday. Appreciate that big time. Morning, JD. Good luck to everybody. 28? I'm 21 today. Brendan Z said he's turning 40. Excuse me. I feel like I could pass for being 21 or like 40. I feel like I could pass for a whole bunch of ages. You braiding it again, bro? I've never even braided my hair, to be honest. Well, professionally braided. There's been times that you've probably seen in videos, etc., where like I've had like one strand braided, and that's just like one strand I'll just manually kind of twist up and kind of like dangle down. Mr. Sniffles. It was for a little bit. It's not as bad right now as it has been before. And then I sniffle. I want the Type Fighter. Sniffle Lucky Gate. Yeah, definitely. Definitely makes me consider the upside on things like Becky Cloonan, very low price. I think Becky Cloonan's an easy 5K collectible. For sure. JD needs a live stream wearing a mask. Could you imagine? Yeah, that's going to be an iconic collectible. The Steamboat Willie. I mean, the thing about this is Steamboat Willie. This is the first ever appearance of Mickey Mouse in real life. At least he didn't say Drake. I'm actually a big Meek Mill fan, too. The reason why I like Meek Mill so much is because, I mean, shout out to Drake, too. I mean, Drake does his thing, right? Drake's really good at what he does. But I'm a huge Meek Mill fan along with Russ just because, you know, my friends found Meek Mill when we were like in 8th grade. So this is like 2006, 2007. And this is when Meek Mill was just on the corner in Philadelphia with his braids, just freestyling. And we loved it. We were like, wow, this dude's amazing. He's from Philly. So I've literally seen Meek Mill go from a nobody to mainstream artist, you know, one of the biggest artists in the world. So like that, it may sound crazy to say this, but like that gave me confidence to know that I can do anything in the world that I want. If you just put the work in, like seeing that stuff firsthand through the years, I mean, it gives you confidence. It makes you believe that if he can do it, I can do it. And it's the same concept with Russ. Shout out to Willow Kid. Yeah, you know, he's a big fan of Russ as well. It's the same mindset. Willow said, seen him twice live and got tickets to his Baltimore show. Wow, let's go. 2016. Same, Willow. And that's the thing. Like, Russ has always preached independence, self-confidence, like all this stuff, that self-belief. Like, it's stuff to where when you are on a journey, especially alone by yourself, like you need that stuff. You need self-belief. You need self-confidence. And that's all the stuff that he preaches in his music. And so a lot of my music, it's the same exact thing. It's all about, you know, good vibes, motivation. I call it like inspiration music or motivation music, because not only was the music motivating for myself, that's why I made it, but the people who rocked with me, who saw the message in it, they rocked with it too, because it is motivating. Let's go, Gary V. VeVe Vault Fire. Let's go. Some of my 2 favorite songs there. Shout out to Emoji. He was on VeVe Vault. Killed the last verse too. Good morning, C. Rios. BDK. What's going on? What's going on? I have an old 401k that is doing nothing and that I'm thinking about putting into VeVe. Wow. IV. I like it. I like it. Very cool idea with the pick. Love Hollywood Studios. What was this one for? Oh, this is Rich J. I took a picture of my Steamboat Willie on the desk that it was drawn on Hollywood Studios. Walt Disney would be proud. Yeah, absolutely, they would be. 70 likes equals a comic giveaway on me. Smash that like, fam. It's JD's birthday. For real. Let's go, Kelvin. Appreciate that big time. Yeah, VeVe Las Vegas. I thought, you know, Sunday Red, Tiger Woods, y'all. I thought the Red would let me get this comic, but not today. Not today. I tried forcing it. Appreciate that, Green Goblin. VeVe Las Vegas. Or Las Vegas. Las Vegas. I said sticker and Vegas at the same time. Appreciate that. Super sticker big time. Appreciate that. The impossible drop. Just trying to get to these. Happy B-Day. Appreciate that. Drew NFTV. Willow. 0 for 42. I saw somebody that was 0 for 50. And now my nose comes up big time right now. Someone was 0 for 50 and they hit their 50th drop. Was the Donald Duck golden moment. I was like, wow, Willow. That reminds me of you, my man. It's definitely going to be you. Oh my gosh. Drops are getting every single one. I wish you could spam comics. I may try to spam the next collectible blind box. Jabe said perfect timing. Yeah, I thought it was perfect timing too. Hey, Philly Perez, I appreciate that big time, man. I'm not 30 yet, December. Don't say yet. Don't say that yet. How old are you now, Johnny? I just turned 21. Is it Brendan's birthday too? You gotta be 15 to 18. That's hilarious. I was a wild kid back then. Flamers 1, 2, and 3. And the 2.5 was fire. Oh, let's go. It's awesome. Share a birthday with my niece. Happy 360 JD. Hey, let's go, Ronnie. What a great day. What a great day. Facts. Yeah. Those are like my go-tos. Like anytime I put on music, it's usually Russ or Meek. But I mean, shout out to Drake too. Like I don't even think they beef anymore. I don't want to have any beef. I bet one day, Drake comes to VeVe. I see like a live performance from Drake. I hope it's like Drake and Meek, But I like them both. I feel like they're different. But I mean, there's a place for both of them, Wow, let's go. So you got on the 4-minute mark. I'm not even going for rebounds right now. I probably should. I'll have to go for the 12-minute rebound. Brito. Let's go. Willow on Spotify. That's a fact. Yeah, Willow Kid's on Spotify. And he's got a lot more on SoundCloud. Brito. Yo, good stuff, Brito. I'm going to go on Twitter right now, see if anybody happened to get one. I'm going to definitely tweet them out. If you got one, tweet it out. APB. He says, who's Johnny Dunn? You talking about the guy who beat twice in fantasy football and booted out the playoffs? Said, I don't know that guy. That's hilarious. Let's see here. Hey, let's go. APB. First comic I've landed in months. Rebound gang. I need Travis Wellington to tag me in more videos. He's my new spirit. Here's my new VeVe spirit animal. Shout out to APB. Shout out to Travis Wellington. That's hilarious. So glad APB got one. Even though he's never beat me in fantasy football ever again. Appreciate that big time, Jabe. VeVe is definitely life-changing. That's a fact. L, I blinked. Yeah, don't blink. If you blink, it's donezo. All right, 11:11. Make a wish. I don't have the time website up, so I'm just going to have to eyeball this and freestyle it. Let's see. 11:12. I'm going right on the money. I'm going to have to do this one as soon as it turns 11:12. I think I have to do it like a split second before. But you know what? I'm just hoping for a miracle in this one. It's got to be turning soon, right? I feel like this is the longest minute ever. 11 and 12. If I get this rebound, that'd be crazy. Nope, didn't get it. Close, but no cigar. When is the new drop system coming out? So it's still in development right now. The new drop system, I would have to guess and say a couple more weeks, guys. We still have at least a couple more weeks left. Some people were trying to say like they're waiting to roll it out. I think it's still in development. Yes, sir. Willow has bars. All right, finally caught up to these comments. The application did not work for me at the time of the drop. Did it happen to everyone? Yeah, so Leonardo Gallego, appreciate you for tuning in today. Looks like they sold out extremely quick. I was not able to get the drop either. It came up as, I'll show you what it came up as for me. We had a couple people in the chat get one, but it looks like most people struck out today. So I wanted to focus up, but it's not going to focus up. At least you can kind of see. We've got 10 seconds left. I recorded the drop so you guys can at least see my screen. I'm going to rewind that just because my live stream lagged a little bit there. 2, 1, 0. Bye now. Like usually, if you rewind the video, I said like, oh, I got it. Because usually at that speed, it feels like I'll be able to get it. But I mean, like I said, it's not a guaranteed thing. It's one of those things where I think so many people are probably timing it right at the same time. If 20,000 people are timing it right on point, it'll probably just randomly distribute the comic to that pool of people. I kept getting nonstop heavy load even till the 8-minute rebound point. Wow, okay, yeah. I've never got the heavy load on rebounds, but I think it just goes to show that there's so many people on the app right now going for that buy now button on that same screen. So it's just a lot of traffic on that same spot. Joshua Tran, W on the 12. Just kidding. Wow, he got me hype. December, still no rebounds. Looks like we all missed on this one. A couple days ago, I think we had way better luck. Love the L's. I got Donald Golden Moment for $17.99. Hope it pays off. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a dip right now. Invisible Friends Twitter for 100K. I got mine for, I think, $1,600 a couple nights ago. Now, maybe it's a little bit overpriced momentarily just because, you know, the anticipation. That's the only reason why I think it's dipped. People aren't buying it just because they're holding their gems right now. They're trying to go after this new drop that everybody's suspecting is going to be big. And who knows, right? I don't have any kind of guaranteed facts or any kind of knowledge of what's dropping. So it really all depends on what's dropping next. And I think it's going to go two ways. If it's a huge drop, market's going to probably retrace even a little bit more. And then after that drop happens, if people can't get it, that's when the market goes back and pumps. And then if this drop gets announced and it's not that big of a drop, people are kind of let down and they're like, oh, it's cool, but like it's not that big. Then I think people are going to spend those gems on the market right now. That's just how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Not financial advice, just my opinion only. K Walker, check Twitter DM. Are you Khalifa? K Crypto? Let's go. That's an awesome. That's not this drop though, right? That's a Mickey Mouse. So it looks like a lenticular card. Oh yeah, that's a good one right there. K Walker, great job right there. Donald and Daisy is a top 5 golden moment. Your thoughts, Johnny Dunn? I think Donald and Daisy is going to be a big one. I think people are sleeping right now. I'm trying to get a second one of these because I do think it's going to be big. Donald Duck is such a popular character to where I've been trying to get a lenticular card of Donald as well. I think, let me see, top 5. It's a pretty bold statement there, Jerry. I'm trying to dismiss it or I'm trying to think of ways to dismiss it because I think that could be a very, very great statement right there. Let me bring it up. Let me look at all these golden moments here. Obviously, top dog, we got Walt. Then I would say probably Star Wars. It's going to be between Star Wars and Elsa and Mickey Hat, and I think Star Wars takes the cake on that one. So we got Walt, and then probably R2-D2 with C-3PO. And then it's going to be between Elsa, Mickey Hat, Donald Duck, and Daisy. I think it's right up there. It's up there because I think popular-wise, it's more popular than probably the Homer collection. But I think the Homer collection is just a sleeper, meaning when I said the Homer and Bart is Todd of the Disney collectibles, I don't want to compare it to Todd because Todd's in a league of its own, first ever NFT on VeVe. But the reason why I said Homer is the Todd of Disney collectibles because anybody that was here since when Todd got sold out, we know how long it took to even get to 300. We know how long it took to even get to 1,000, right? But long term, we're starting to see that emphasis get put on the first. And now we see however months, I mean, Todd was not sold out in March. Todd at one point had 6,000 in stock in store March 1st. And now February 16th, it's at $11,000, $10,000. So Homer, it's only at 1,000 right now, $2,000. I think being the first ever NFT Disney release, that's going to be huge. So I definitely see Donald Duck and Daisy being more valuable than the Pixar golden moments. Probably the Iron Man golden moments, those Marvel ones. And probably for the short term, more than the Bart ones. I just think long term, Bart's going to be huge because it is the first one. Popular wise, I think it's probably right under Star Wars, just depending on Elsa and the Mickey Hat. But take another look at the Donald Duck gold ones. They look amazing. When I was looking at Donald and Daisy, I was like, man, they just look amazing. Look so good in the showrooms. I got two of Donald and Daisy golden moments. Solid, Jerry. Good move right there, Jerry. Can you buy gems more than twice in a day in VeVe from App Store? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think I've definitely done that. I think I've definitely added more gems in one day. For sure, yeah. You should be able to. Oh, great job, Tammy Torres. Picked up a 2-digit Spider-Man 2099. Movie drops in October. Bullish. Yes. So Tammy Torres, great job getting this one. I don't even have this collectible. I think this is going to be a great one for a few different reasons. And I'll go over the reasons why I think it's going to be a good one. One is it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's the most popular, iconic superhero. It's a variation of Spider-Man, but it's still Spider-Man. Marvel Mighties, we all kind of think there's some kind of game tied in with them. So that's kind of speculative, obviously. But if that does end up being the case, I think that could be a huge one for that reason. And it's the first ever secret rare of the Marvel Mighties bunch. So that has another good thing going for it. And like you said, there's a movie about it coming out soon. So it's just going to bring that popularity to more and more people. Yeah, great movie, Jerry, getting two of those Donald Ducks. That's going to be big time, I think. I'm pretty sure Winnie the Pooh and Aladdin Genie are the next most famous Disney characters. Just don't know if they will come to VeVe. I mean, Invisible Friends Twitter 400K, great analysis, great hypothesis of thinking those are the next most popular characters, and they probably are. I know both of those. I mean, Aladdin, Winnie the Pooh. So the fact that I know them means that they're pretty dang popular. And I definitely think if VeVe owns them, which they do, we have the whole entire Disney IP for the license. So that means I think we're going to get every single Disney character. Now, I don't know who's going to be able to afford that. If you can, absolutely go for that, in my opinion. I would try to, but I'm not going to probably be able to afford every single Disney character there is. So my whole goal is to be not a Disney master collector, but a Disney Golden Moments master collector. For me, I love gold. And that way I can kind of capture all those big time NFTs. And I position myself to be able to do that now. All I need is that Lady and the Tramp right now. That's kind of my goal. And if Aladdin comes, I'll definitely try to get that too. Who knows? Maybe we get like a lamp. Maybe we get, 3 wishes. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, amazing mint number too. I forgot about this one, Tammy. All those things I mentioned are amazing. Plus, you have a 2-digit. That's iconic right there. Sub 100 is huge. That's a huge collectible. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, a 2-digit. Any 2 digits will be big, I think. I don't understand how Donald Duck is not over the Elsa. I mean, excuse me. Is it because of the pen and the little sculpting tool, possibly in Elsa? Elsa's huge. Elsa Frozen, like that's gonna be iconic with that Mickey hat. It's part of the first ever Disney Golden Moment set. I think Donald Duck has with Daisy has a possibility to overtake them. It's definitely possible, but again, I'm not confident that's going to happen. Maybe long term. Like I said before, I would rank the Golden Moments so far, all the ones that we have. Walt being the top one. Right below it, in the short term, I probably see Star Wars being there. And then I think it's going to be between Elsa, Mickey hat, the Donald Duck, Daisy. In the short term, I think that's where it's going to be between those two. And then long term, I think Homer and Bart will get up there. I don't know if it'll ever pass them, but it'll definitely be a top tier Golden Moment being the first ones. And it's got the autograph. The thing about the autograph is this is not like a signature. This is like Homer and Bart, like on the lenticular cards. That's awesome. It has like Mickey Mouse's signature, all those. But this has the creator of the Simpsons autograph. That's like having Todd McFarlane Batman sign the Todd Batman. You have Matt Groening signing the Bart Simpson. People are underestimating that big time, in my opinion. Like, just imagine if Todd McFarlane signed the Todd McFarlane Batman on the bottom. It would not be a floor of 9K, I'll tell you that. And now we have the Simpsons creator, who's already known as like a time traveler, signing the bottom of the first ever NFTs Disney released. That's as time traveler as you can get in the future. Because what's going to happen is the metaverse is going to be so mainstream. The VeVeverse, Disney World, and the digital format, people are going to be watching The Simpsons in the metaverse one day, I bet. And then they look at the first ever Simpsons NFT, the first ever Disney, the first ever NFT released by the Disney license, has Matt Groening's signature at the bottom. They're going to be like, he is the time traveler. Okay, I have the Steamboat Mickey. Should I sell it and get the Minnie Mouse card just because of the FE mark? See, Rios, that's tough. I don't think I would do that. I think Steamboat Mickey is going to be an iconic collectible without the FE tag, FA tag. Now, the FA tag, I think, is like a safety blanket. It's almost like a safeguard. When you have the FA or something, it should stand the test of time. When you don't have the FA tag, it doesn't mean it's not valuable. I mean, for instance, that Captain America Secret Rare that was $400 retail, only 1,000 editions. That's no FA, but I think that's going to stand the test of time. Same with Steamboat Willie. I think because it's the first appearance of Mickey Mouse in real life, that's iconic. When we get Series 2 of the Mickey Mouse NFT collection, Series 3, Series 4, there's going to be multiple Mickey Mouses, right? There's going to be more series. So it's going to go back to the very first one, that genesis of the one that started it all. I think those people that hodl through this little dip are going to be rewarded big time. Oh, man, that would be awesome. Kermit the Frog. I mean, if Disney has it, you can bet they're going to release it one day. I'm proud of my one and only hanging out Spidey. I don't have golden moments, but it's still something. Jabe, you're killing it, my man. That's the one thing. Like, I would say don't get jealous of other people who do have these other NFTs because we all started at different points. So, I mean, if I started right now, there's no chance that I'd be able to have all the golden moments that first drop. Maybe I'd be able to get like one, if depending on if I was able to sell something or whatever the case may be. But I mean, that's why I was so big on saying when the first golden moments that dropped in November, I kept saying like we all kind of wanted the whole set, but I kept saying just think about in the future, if anybody even just has one of these golden moments, you're just going to be so happy you even have one. So you have the first ever Marvel NFT, Jabe. I believe that's the one that you have, right? The Hanging Out Spidey. That's going to be a great one too. Think of how many other Marvel NFTs they're going to release in the future, right? They're going to release amazing ones. I mean, we still have to see FA of Wolverine, FA of the Hulk, like so many important big time characters. And you're always going to be able to say, you have the first ever Marvel NFT. The first time Marvel came out with digital collectibles, you have it. And it's the first appearance of Spider-Man, the most iconic superhero, most popular superhero right now. So, I mean, Jay, that's amazing that you have that one. I do think they'll reward all Mighty Sets holders. I don't have all the Mighty Sets. I'm not going to be a master collector of the Mighties, unfortunately. I would love to do that because I think they will be big. I think it's an exclusive, or I know it's an exclusive IP just for VeVe. Marvel created that just for VeVe. So I think that too entices them to make them valuable, to give them more utility, to use them in some kind of play to earn game, to also airdrop, you know, all those holders, set holders, reward them for grabbing all of them. You'll get some kind of badge being like a master collector Marvel Mighties holder, full set holder. And you'll probably get airdropped like an awesome Marvel Mighty. I have 3 golden moments at the moment. 3 golden moments at the moment. Elsa, C3PO, and Donald Duck. Those are solid ones right there. Donald Duck, Daisy. I mean, that's going to be a big one. C3PO, we have the first ever Star Wars NFT. I mean, C3PO is actually in his real color, too. That's always a little interesting twist. And then Elsa. Elsa's probably the best looking one, aesthetic-wise, right now. I mean, her dress is absolutely amazing. I'll never forget when, who was it? Was it Kurt? Somebody came on the chat, and when that Elsa first got dropped, he was looking at it, was like, JD, I think Elsa may look better than Dragon Girl. I was like, what? I was like, Kurt, get out of here with that nonsense. He's like, look at it. I was like, all right, I'm looking at it. I was like, ooh, this one looks pretty good. I won't lie. I was kind of blown away by it. And once I saw it, I was just like, it's going to give DG a run for its money. So I had to get an Elsa big time. Elsa's going to be amazing. The thing is with these golden moments is there's just a lot of editions compared to, say, 1,000 editions of something. So when you have a lot of editions compared to something with 500, 1,000 editions, you're going to have more people who hold that, who are willing to take profits earlier than some others. So I always think there's a room for, you know, dips to happen with some of these big ones. But again, if you hold through it, we've seen how powerful holding can be in VeVe, right? I mean, I'm not saying for anybody it's bad to take profits. It's bad because you can always make those profits, you know, put those profits into something else, and then that goes off. So there's nothing wrong with taking profits either, especially when you get to a point of making like so much. I feel like it's definitely interesting, or it's definitely, I feel like a point in time where you possibly think about taking profits, because you can always put those profits into something else and then let that collectible or whatever the case may be, you know, go up. So I remember seeing the golden moments Elsa sitting in the shop. I didn't buy it because I thought it was too cheap. Wow, Zombie Freak. Interesting you say that. See, I think that's part of the human nature and the psychology that goes with these collectibles. And Zombie Freak, if you're still listening, that's exactly what happened with Todd McFarlane Batman. We see Todd McFarlane Batman at $10,000 right now, and it's like, oh, you know, people are, you know, wanting to get that collectible. I was here on March 1st when 6,000 were in store, in stock for $79.99, and nobody wanted it. People are actually laughing at me because I was buying multiples of these, telling me that, Johnny, what are you doing? There's 7,500 editions of these. There's about 7,000 of us on the app right now. And I'm like, okay, exactly. So buy them all. Like, and they're like, dude, they're never going to sell out. Like, and so it's not enticing to buy something when there's so many of them, when it's still cheap. But if you can kind of flip that psychology around and just zoom out and look 6 months from now, a year from now, you're gonna look back. Those are the opportunities, and that's kind of what we saw. Like Elsa was like $170, I think I bought one for. And just imagine if I bought if I spent $1,000 on Elsa's back then, right? Boom, I'd be sitting pretty right now. Instead, I went around looking at all these other collectibles, grabbing the sets, which there's nothing wrong with that either. But that's just the human psychology of it, Zombie Freak. When things are cheap, there's a lot of editions available. Nobody really wants that collectible. But as soon as it starts selling out, as soon as that price starts to skyrocket, that's when a lot of times the collectible starts to create that FOMO. Wouldn't it be cool to have a Telegram or WhatsApp JD's gang group? That would be awesome. Yeah, I don't do WhatsApp, but I will probably start a group, JD's family or something like that. So that way, like anybody, part of the live streams, part of the group chats that just want to be around everybody else with a like-minded, just a like-minded mindset. I think I will do that. A lot of people have been asking me for it. I've been kind of holding off for it, but I think there's just been so many people asking me for that. I think I will start that soon. That's exactly it, Knight Rider. And that's kind of the whole psychology aspect of it. It's like, oh yeah, Matt Groening's signature. It's just like The Simpsons. It's a Fox character. Don't really want it. You rather get that Elsa Star Wars. Exactly. That's kind of that mindset that's kind of going around the community that's preventing people from going all in on the Homer, or not all in, but really taking that a little bit more seriously. Sold Golden Skateboard, Avengers logo, and Mickey's hat almost at their top. They got myself a third Todd yesterday. No gems left for Donald and Daisy. Hey, but Jordan C., you know what? I feel like sometimes, especially, I'm in that category as well. I'm just like you guys. I just got here early. That's all. That's the only difference with me, guys. I'm just like everyone else. I'm not some huge whale. I was just blessed, found it early, went all in, and now I have a huge collection. So for me, I would have had to do the same thing probably to get another Tad. You have to make sacrifices. You have to, sell one thing, sell another thing to get the collectibles that you really, really want. And I think Todd is a no-brainer. If you believe in the VeVe app, I think having that first ever VeVe NFT is going to be game-changing. It's going to be life-changing in the long term. Donald Duck or Spidey 2099? Wow, that's an interesting question. That's a tough question too. Spidey 99, super more limited, way less editions, more speculative play, but I would say an educated speculative play. Having that be one of like the best collectibles in the Marvel Mighty's game. It just may take a long time for that game to come around. We don't know. Donald Duck, I think there's more safety involved in that play. Donald Duck's an iconic character known worldwide by millions and millions of people for decades. If you ask someone off the street, do you know Donald Duck? They're going to say, yeah. If you ask them, do you know who Spider-Man 2099 is? They may look at you a little funny. So I think long-term, the safest play is Donald Duck. I think if you want to get risky and you want to kind of have like a little bit of a speculative play, because there's nothing wrong with speculative plays either. It's a little bit more limited. Maybe you go that Spidey 99 route. Me personally, I'd rather just go the safe route and go Donald Duck. But again, that's because I'm collecting all the golden moments. So if I only had one or two, maybe my thought process would be a little bit different in that. Homer and Bart is what brought me into this app. I've seen it in the news for a split second. Hey, Crypto Money. That's amazing. I didn't know that. Kryptoni. I didn't know that Bart and Homer made it into the news for a little bit. And I think that's just what's happening, Kryptoni. If you just came in for that, I think people kind of got upset that like the first ever Disney Golden Moments came out with like that Fox character, even though Disney owns Fox. Kind of threw people off there. I think people were just had anticipation again of it being like a Mickey Mouse collectible, being the first Disney collectible. So, but like I said, imagine that Walt Disney statue had Walt Disney's signature at the bottom of it. Whew. And not like Mickey Mouse's signature. Mickey Mouse, like that's an awesome signature for the Disney lenticular cards. It's got all those character signatures, and that's a big deal too. But I think the biggest deal is having the creator of that with their signature. That's why I had to get 2. There's been points where I thought about letting my duplicate go. But again, I just can't do it for a couple reasons. One, it's that first ever NFT released by Disney. I'm just holding on to it long term. I think it's going to be a big one. And another reason is I made it part of too many of my showrooms. So it's just kind of I'm emotionally attached to that one. JD group, let's go. Yes. All right. So you guys want me to do a group? All right. I've been kind of holding off for it, but I think I'm going to make it happen. I have 9 moments, no Walt, no Star Wars, no Mickey hat. Okay, but that's okay. I mean, you still have 9 moments, 9 golden moments. That's you have a lot of leverage right there. You don't have a Walt, and that's probably the biggest one out of them, but it's okay. You have so many other moments. I mean, like I said, just to have a couple of them, you're gonna look back and be like, I have more than a couple. I have 9. You know, you have almost 10 golden moments. That's unbelievable. The one thing that I keep stressing to people to think about, I get the chills when I think about this, because to this day it's still factual. I truly believe that. Over the summer, I kept saying in tweets, you know, it's still so early, and that's like the buzzword. It's almost like community. People in the NFT space always say community. People always say it's so early. So I think that kind of got overlooked. It was like, oh yeah, it's so early. Is it still so early? There's a million people here. But people kept saying that 100,000 people. I truly believe this is the next app that everybody in the world will be on. You know, I was saying how we just kind of witnessed the LimeWire era of NFTs. Apple Music is what I consider VeVe right now. LimeWire happened when the physical CD space got transitioned into digital music. We had the LimeWire, the Napster. It was the wild, wild west of digital music collections, right? Well, then that got regulated. And then that ease of access was there with Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify. Now you can take your music collection on the go anywhere in the world. That's what I felt like was happening, and that's what is happening with VeVe right now. The OpenSea platforms, you know, that's kind of like the LimeWire era, the wild, wild west. You got some good things, then you got everything on there. It becomes a little saturated. Then that probably gets regulated. We haven't seen just yet. I imagine that happens soon. Then you have the VeVe platform, the accessibility. Now you can take your digital collection anywhere in the world with you. And so that's that kind of shift that's happening. I truly believe that in the next decade, like there's going to be so many people in this app to where there's going to be more people that join in the next decade that are here on the app right now. Think about that. There's going to be more people that join in the next decade that are even on the app right now. That's how early we are in this, because when you have licensors from Disney, Marvel, Givenchy, DC, these are, you know, billion-dollar brands. They're not just going to pick a platform that's here for a couple years and then gone. No, that's going to hurt their brand. We're partnered with the US government, USPS. Like, this is how you install yourself into something. You build that foundation, you dot all your I's, you cross all your T's, and you build a legacy. You're building something that's going to be here for not just a year or two, not just 5 years, but 10 years, 20 years, multiple decades down the road, to where we're going to look back and we're going to have grandkids growing up talking about the NFTs we're buying right now. It's going to get insane, because they're not reinventing anything new. They're taking what's already existed for decades and just digitizing it. When you start to think about the VeVe app in that way, you start to realize and maybe start to think about these collectibles in a different form, like stamps. They didn't make stamps up. They didn't create anything new with stamps. They've taken what's already existed since the beginning of collecting experiences. It all started with really stamps. I mean, you can take it back further and go to rocks. Collecting something that's been in the DNA of every human. So they're just digitizing that experience now in the most accessible, fun way possible. So that's why, you know, this is game changing, guys. London, Bob, let me know if the market opens too. Let's see, 40 minutes past. It should be open. Nope, closed still. I'm buying in on comics because FOMO Vault Display is going to make some gems to use, make me some gems to use on some collectibles. Great idea right there, Landon. Now, I definitely see the comics exploding. Not only are we going to be able to put them in the showroom, which is going to be game changing. Think of the prices on some comics, and we haven't been able to show them off yet. But we're going to be able to put them in our showroom, maybe with cases, but then also on our profile. That's going to be game changing, because if you go to your VeVe profile right now, take a look at everybody's VeVe profile that's public. Take a look at mine. What am I showing off here? Showing off all my collectibles all the way down. And what's one thing that's missing? Comics. We can't even show off our comics yet on the profile. So not only is it on in the showrooms that's going to be game changing, but on the profiles too. So that's when I see a lot of these, not just the valuable comics, the Holy Grail comics, the rarities too. But I think even some comics that may not be the most valuable in real life, but just different rarities that have amazing cover art. That's something that people may want to show off in their showrooms too. Yeah, absolutely. And Jordan C, that's, hindsight is always 2020, right? So, I'm not, talking bad about anyone who didn't stock up on those Todds back then, because like you just said, Jordan, he said, I could have bought so many Todds from the store at the price. I got my last one. We can't predict the future. Back then it was harder to believe in VeVe so much. We had to do little. Exactly the thing. Like back then, for a lot of people, it wasn't so clear what the vision was for VeVe. There's so much going on. It was so new. I mean, VeVe was new, and this whole NFT space is new. So it was like so many different new things at once. There's only like 7,000 people back then. Think about it, 7,000 total people in the app. And now we're getting like 40,000 new people a day. Maybe not that high every single day, like 20 to 40,000 new people a day, but exactly, Jordan C. So don't feel bad, don't have regrets. Just use that knowledge that you do have for future, because things are all, history will repeat itself. There's going to be times where things come out in the future and they sit for cheap, and then people sleep on them, and then they still go up in value. It's not going to happen as much now, just because we're in a different era. There's a lot more people in the app. People have learned from previous, experiences, but it's still going to happen. It may not happen to that extreme level, but there's going to be plenty of opportunity still in VeVe. This question got answered or asked earlier in the stream. Is the Chaosium? I don't even know how to say this word. The Chaoism. It's the Cthulhu drops. All right, it's the one with the Book of the Dead, the Cthulhu statues. Are they going to tank or fly because of the announcement by them that they're out of NFTs? I think without utility and more seasons, they're done. It's going to be interesting, right? I think the Book of the Dead may get hurt a little bit, because I think the anticipation from people was that it was going to get animated to a different chapter, a different book. Maybe the book released secrets of something else to happen. So I think the book may get hurt a little bit. I think the Cthulhu statues, though, last time I checked, they were like 175-ish, 180. Maybe they get hurt a little bit, go down a tiny bit. I think they could go up, though, in value, the statues, because that was the first ever Comic-Con drop, first ever Comic-Con exclusive drop. And if we're never going to see another Cthulhu statue, if we're never going to see another Cthulhu collectible, I mean, they could come back and renegotiate and come back to VeVe. But if we don't, first ever Comic-Con exclusive drop, it was the Cthulhu statues with that Book of the Dead. So even though the Book of the Dead probably won't animate in the future for different utility reasons, etc., we'll never see more of those Cthulhu statues. I think it's something to where, because of that, it made me want to almost pick up another gold one to have two again. But I decided not to, just hold the small amount of gems I do have right now. It'll be interesting, Kryptonian. I think the statues could help the statues and maybe hurt the book a little bit. Long term, it should probably help all of it, like long term, like years from now, if they decide not to renegotiate. Johnny Boy, a little late to the party. No luck on the comic drop or rebounds. You get one? Nope. Struck out today. 0 for 4, my man. So no luck today. Samuel Udo. Samuel Udo. Shout out to you, my man. Got a comic on the 4-minute rebound. This is definitely a good comic to get. I think just especially in the short term, I think it's going to be pretty valuable. Yes. You see that exact correlation. That's exactly what's happening. You can say that with a lot of different platforms. I've definitely said this one before. I think it's 100% money. This is a great analogy because Coinbase simplified cryptocurrency. Before Coinbase and a lot of different platforms that popped up, it was hard to get cryptocurrency for a lot of people. It was not easy. The ease of access has definitely been simplified because of platforms like Coinbase. Kryptoni says VeVe is the NFTs what Coinbase was the crypto. That's exactly what it is, man. That's a fact. I love when people bring these analogies up because, one, it's true in my opinion, and two, it helps out new people trying to understand what this is. I think education is going to be a huge topic of discussion to just educate the public on NFTs and the VeVe app. Did you know that Disney sell mini statues of the golden moments for like $100 each? And yeah, now here's the people want to kind of like correlate the digital statues to the physical statues. People said that with the Todd McFarlane and Batman, right? People said back in March, why would I pay $8,000 for the Todd Batman if the Todd Batman's only worth $200 in real life? Well, it's because of the ease of access. Digital collecting gives everybody a phone the ability to be a collector now. I would now collect collectibles because it's the ease of access on my phone and I can take it anywhere. It made me go out and get a physical statue. And that's what's happened to a lot of other people. That's why I see the Todd Batman now raised from $300 to now over $1,000, maybe even $2,000 now to get a volume 1. And that's because of VeVe. So VeVe is going to help the physical collectible world big time explode. Now, the same thing is happening with the Disney collectibles. People are saying, Knight Rider just said, a golden mini statue is only $100 each. Probably thinking like, why are these golden moments digitally worth more? I would say for a few different reasons. One, this is the first ever, first appearance of these characters. So just like in the real world, imagine if you own the very first ever Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse or Walt Disney statue. That's probably going to be a lot of money. Now, if you get the new one that comes out this year, it may not be worth that much because it's not the first edition, not the first appearance. Also, just like what I talked about just now, these golden moments, everybody with a phone is a collector. You would have to go out of your way, go to the physical store, find out who's selling them, find out a whole bunch of information. Then you have to worry about storing it, cleaning it. Digital collecting is going to be, I think, just an obvious shift in the world. The same way digital music streaming was an obvious shift in the world from physical CDs. Because it wasn't too long ago where we had to put physical CDs into like a CD player and walk around with the Walkman, right? And the CD would skip or all that kind of stuff. It became obvious to the world that digital streaming now, I have hundreds of thousands of songs I can listen to at any time. And that's kind of the difference. My guy, Knight Rider, just said, Marcus Open. Appreciate you big time, my man. $40. Now, this is one of the few times where I feel like it could be cheap coming out right away. Just because it's a super limited drop. And that's what I talk about, how not every drop is the same. This one, it feels like it's kind of coming out a little bit cheaper. $40 is the floor. For a comic that has, let's see, 6,000 total editions, I feel like this one should probably have a floor a little bit higher than just $40. So this time it feels like it came out a little bit cheap almost. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, Maybe because it doesn't have that much value in the real world, maybe, it won't last that long. But I'm going to go over all the prices right now. All right, the Secret Rare is 2.4K. There's 10 available. There's 18 Ultra Rares going for $298 is the floor, then $325. 37 Rares available. Floor is $120. You have the Uncommon, 60 available, going for $52 is the floor. We have 96 available for the Commons. 40 is the floor. Juju on the beat. Someone's username right now. Thoughts about the hint that big drop starts with the letter M. Maybe we get Miles Morales. Yeah, so a lot of people are talking about this. I didn't know about the big hint about M. If that's the case, I would definitely say Miles Morales. I've been thinking that we're going to see Miles Morales. Just because, it is, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a lot of these different Spider-Man in different forms. Meaning, like, we'll see, like, the blue suit Spidey, the black suit Spidey, all these different Spider-Man in collectible form. And that's one we haven't seen yet, is the Miles Morales. Now, if that's the case, I think the comic books are going to pump of Miles Morales. But I think the whole market may just temporarily freeze, not really pump, because people are going to want that collectible. Especially if Jaden Smith comes out and plays that character. Because I think if you're a fan or not a fan of him, he's very popular, especially with the youth. And it'll just make the popularity grow of that character even more. This sounds crazy to think about. I don't even like saying this because it still feels like 2021 for me, honestly. Can't believe it's 2022 already. Back in 2021. Wow, it just feels weird saying that. Back in 2021. Holy cow. Time really does fly, man. Back in 2021, those Marvel comics were going for $435. Crazy. Very true about Coinbase. Ivy says it's a whole different experience than Bitforex. Same with OpenSea and VeVe. OpenSea is confusing and messy. Absolutely, Ivy. And great point right there. Great observation. And that's the way it is. I mean, a lot of us are kind of, I guess you could say, crypto NFT savvy now, so we can kind of navigate all this stuff. But I always think about a family, grandparents, someone just coming off, walking down the street, wants to start collecting their favorite brands. Are they going to want to learn how to, download MetaMask, learn all about their seed phrase, their passwords, learn about connecting their wallet? They don't understand this stuff. So it's easier to understand once you get involved in it. And that's why I think, honestly, VeVe is going to help OpenSea tremendously, because I see VeVe being the floodgate opener. To anybody, is just a fan of Batman, Superman, Disney, they're going to get onto the VeVe app and boom, they can start collecting right away. And then the more that they get involved in the OMI token, cryptocurrency, different NFTs, then I think they're going to start to venture out, maybe see different projects they may like. And that's when I think those solid projects that are on OpenSea, the few that I think could last, that's probably when I see them going back up, is when a lot of these people transition, get more familiar with the whole OpenSea, NFT, crypto, whole space. Then they may find the artists that they really like that maybe aren't on VeVe yet, or maybe some projects that they do like that are pretty solid up there. Because I do see that there's some projects that may last long term, but I think 95, 98% of them, unfortunately, may not last long term. Now, I'm hoping every single project does last long term, because I think the more that do, the more that'll bring more people into this space, the more people that'll find VeVe. But I just think with the saturation, so many things are going to happen, so many other projects that may come out. I think it's a safe bet to focus on those collectibles on VeVe and comics too. The NFTs from VeVe are the Bitcoin from the cryptocurrency in the early days. I so see that happening. Muppets market open. Are the Muppets going up? The Pilly Fantasy. So not really. So the ultra rares at 369, the rares at 113, the uncommons at 55, and the commons at 67. Let's go over the prices again. This comic. So it's dipped big time. Yeah. So the commons are down to 29. There's 187 in the marketplace. So I guess people are just waiting until I think all of them get delivered. So if you ever want to check out to see how many have been delivered, I would exit out, go to the very, very beginning of the app. Excuse me, the very beginning of the app, the store tab, go into the drop that just happened. And then you can scroll down here. And here's where you can see a lot. Ooh, they changed it. They changed it. Okay. So before you could go in here and say, like, some have to be delivered. So they changed it on me. Maybe they have all been delivered. I wonder if that's what they did. Maybe they wait until they open the market until all of them have been delivered. Maybe that's the new thing that they just did. And they're just waiting now, or not waiting now, but yeah, I wonder if that's the case. Definitely be interesting. Because I felt like at $40, it was a steal. But it's dipped. But now it's going back up. So now the floor price is $35. $30. All right, it's dipped back down. A lot of volatility right now. So 233 available for the common. $30 is the price. 105 available for the uncommon. 34 is the price. 82 rares available, going for 89. 46 available for the ultra rare, 209. And then the 26 available secret rares going for $9.99. I think I'm gonna hold off on this comic book. For me personally, I don't have enough gems to be spending on the comic right now. I'm just gonna hold off. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off for now. See how the prices react. But I think I'm gonna pass on this comic. Like I said before, if I got this on the drop, I probably would have used it to flip for more gems. But I'm just gonna sit back, relax, see what the all the hype is for this new announcement. I hope it is a Miles Morales collectible. That'd be awesome to see. I probably don't have the gems right now to afford it, but I think that's also why everybody's trying to sell in the marketplace. There's not as much buy pressure. Say if it was Miles Morales, though, that does get dropped. I think after that drop happens, then we see the market pump. I don't think they'll release Miles and then another big collectible right after. And I definitely think the comics will explode. Crypto King said, I really feel the comics are going to blow up once the comic collectors get on VeVe. And that's the other thing, too. I mean, there's a lot of catalysts for these comics. Showroom ability on the profile. And we haven't even really seen the comic collectors get into VeVe. We haven't even really seen them take hold on this NFT space yet. And a lot of these comics are pretty high in value already. So can only imagine when the comic collectors really start to get a hold of the NFT space. And I think once they start to realize and think of it as just a digital collectible, you're just collecting this digitally. So NFT, I feel like kind of gives it a bad connotation. It's also a genius move by VeVe to market to the mass audience by calling them digital collectibles, digital comics, premium digital collectibles and comics. That's game changing. So I'm signing out today. Great live stream, guys. I appreciate everybody for the support, the likes, the subscriptions, the comments, the live chats, everything. You guys have been amazing. I probably will start a group chat in a little bit just because in the next few days I'll probably get on that. And I've got a lot of requests, a lot of people asking for that. Kind of held off for the longest time, but I think it's finally about time. You guys wanted to happen, so I'll probably make that happen. Appreciate you guys big time for joining in today. I am going to be signing off today. It is my birthday, so I will be joining that. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you next live stream. And make sure you guys stay on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Be on the lookout for all the updates I put out there and the Okami team puts out there. Definitely probably be a new drop announcement soon, so be on the lookout for that. Appreciate you guys. I'm signing out. It's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out.